you ever make mistakes when you're sewing? You're not alone. I've been making a lot of mistakes in my most recent make. So if you'd like to hear about the saga of the leopard print culottes, pause this, grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, glass of wine, and come back and let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or should I say welcome back to me, because I haven't been on my channel in quite a while. I've just taken a bit of a break. I haven't really had anything to vlog about, I'm afraid. I've just been getting on with looking after my family and getting through each day, trying to remember what day it actually is. But every now and again trying to sneak in a tiny bit of sewing just for my own personal sanity. Unfortunately, said sewing has not been going well. So I thought I would come on here and share my perils with you all, because, you know, we all make mistakes and it's good to talk about mistakes as well as successes. I definitely feel reassured when I hear other people's issues and problems that they've come across, and realize, you know what, everyone does make mistakes now and again, and that's totally okay. So if you've been following me along on Instagram, again, I've been quite quiet on there recently too, but I have been occasionally documenting my attempt at making some lovely Winslow culottes. I've wanted to make the Winslow culottes for a long time now. It's a pattern by the indie company Helen's Closet. I'll put a link to it down below. But I've just never got round to it, so I recently, oh, I know what it was. I made this lovely top, which I did a sew along for. This is a sort of Maya top. Again, I'll put the link to the sew along down below, and all the details of that will be in it. It's in a lovely sort of linen type fabric. It's actually made from Rami, but it's just this lovely burnt rust colour. And I had some beautiful burnt rust coloured leopard print crepe in my stash that goes absolutely perfectly with this, and I thought, right, I'm going to use that and I'm going to make some nice either a skirt or trousers or whatever to go with it. So I decided upon the Winslow culottes. I thought it was a good opportunity to go with that, and it's the right kind of fabric for it. I had enough fabric, all good. So I started to cut out the pattern. I had a PDF pattern that I had copy shop printed, and I am a cutter, not a tracer. Might be changing my ways soon. But I took my measurements and I came up as a 16. And like most multi-size patterns, it's nested and each line has a different pattern that you follow along. I think you can probably guess what I'm coming up to now. But I cut out my size 16, or so I thought. But it was the kickoff of the whole COVID lockdown in Northern Ireland, and my mind was probably not fully on the game. I will admit that. I think my mind still isn't fully on the game, to be honest. But I started to, I found some time to sew it up. And the first job is always put your interfacing onto your waistband. Oh man, I hate that job. Anyway, you gotta do it. So I started ironing on the waistband, the interfacing to the waistband, and I thought, this is a very small waistband. I am quite sure my waist is not this size. I wish it was, but I don't think it is. So I held it up around my body and it would not go around my body. And I thought, oh, was I supposed to cut 2 of these out? No, not supposed to cut 2 out. Right. Have I cut the right size? And I checked, and no. I've cut a size 8. I was supposed to cut a size 16 and I had cut a size 8. Right, first problem. What am I going to do? I thought, okay, well the legs are cut a size 8, but that's okay because they're massive. I don't know if you've ever come across the Winslow culottes before, but they have massive big pleats in front and in the back, big sort of box pleats. And they're absolutely very massive, very voluminous culottes. So I thought, that's okay, they'll just be neater on me, and that's okay. But the waistband is a problem. I checked my scrap pieces of fabric, and I had enough to cut out a 16 for the waistband. Whew. So I went ahead and did that, put the interfacing on that. I got ahead, started putting in my culottes. My pleats into my front and back. I sewed on the pockets. I was slightly disappointed about the pockets because they are the type that just hang in your side seam rather than connect into the waistband, which is the type I personally prefer. They stay in place a lot better and don't fold up. That's a side issue. Went ahead with the ones that we had because I'd already cut them out. Everything, all the fabric was cut out, everything was cut out. And I started sewing up, and what was my next problem? Yes. My inside seams weren't the same length. So the inside seam of my front piece was different from the back piece, and it wouldn't line up. And I thought, oh, this fabric has grown a bit while I've been handling it. It's tricky fabric. I mean, it's a slippery, or it's not really slippery because it's a bubble crepe, but it's, you know, it's just got that movement that's a bit hard to control. And I thought, flip, but I just couldn't get them to meet at all. Sometimes you can sort of maneuver it a little bit and get, you know, if your fabric has grown a little, you can sort of coax it back into shape. No, I couldn't. And I thought, this is just so strange. It doesn't seem right. Why is it matching up? And so then I went back to my pattern pieces. Yes, everything seems fine. I haven't like started following a different line or whatever. And then I looked more closely and I realized, oh, I've cut the front pieces out in a size 16 like I should have, but the back pieces I cut a size 8. And obviously the waistband I cut size 8 as well. So, and then I looked at the two lines. They are quite similar to compare. So because my mind wasn't on it fully, and probably Luke was running around shouting at me and my husband was talking to me. He's always talking to me. Oh, can you tell I've had enough of this lockdown? Anyway, don't tell me I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. Anyway, I started off on the right track and I cut my 16, and then I got distracted, and the next piece I had to cut out, I thought I found 16 and I found 8 instead. I figured out that's what I had done. Right, so I thought, can I get away with this and just having a bigger, or can I cut my front pieces down to a size 8? And I looked at the crotch and the curve of it, and I sort of held the pattern pieces up to my body, and I was like, no, this is gonna ride up and be very uncomfortable, and it's just not gonna work. And I was just like, needed a break. This was over a period of quite a few days, maybe weeks, by the way. This didn't all happen at once. I have been trying to make these culottes since the beginning of lockdown. We're now in week 8. We're in week 8 now. Just a simple pair of culottes. They should take me a few days to make, not 8 weeks. But anyway, I was like, stuff it, I'm not making the Winslows anymore, I'm done with that. And I pulled out a pattern that I had made one time before, and I had no problem with it. It was perfect, fit me really nicely. I thought, I'm just going to go ahead with that if I can get these pattern pieces onto the leg pieces. And it was this one here. So it's Butterick B6178. And specifically this plain, stop focusing on my face, this plain version here, it's got darts in the front of it rather than the other versions are pleats. Actually quite similar to the Winslow, maybe not, no, the Winslow is much more voluminous. But these, I had made these in a really fancy sequin fabric, if you remember, for like New Year's or whatever. I did it as a Minerva blog, and they turned out so nice. And if that was out of really complicated fabric, then I was like, yeah, there's no problem sewing it up in a crepe. And I knew it fitted me, so I got these pieces out and I put them on top of the Winslow pieces, and yeah, I could fit them in. So I was like, yes! I'm clawing myself back after all the craziness that's going on. I even checked the waistband. They were nearly identical in length. Both of them use a one-piece waistband, so you don't fold it over. You don't sew a piece on and turn it over. You just fold it over. God, I could have said that a bit easier, couldn't I? You just fold it over rather than sew a piece on and turn it over. If you've made different waistbands, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, cracked on ahead with that. I did have to make them a tiny bit shorter than this pattern, but I've just put a small hem on it to sort of compensate for that. But these pockets are the ones that go into the waistband. Rather than just hang down. And I did happen to have enough scrap fabric, you know, the bits that are just around the outside, and then some of the bits of the legs that didn't get used in the new pattern. I managed to get 4 pieces because I was thinking I'm going to have to use a different fabric for half, you know, one side of the pocket and the other pocket size, use the actual leopard print fabric. But no, I managed to do it. And then I decided to sew up the pockets in a different method that I had learnt, or I thought I had learnt, from doing the sew over it jumpsuit, this one here. I really like that method. It's really interesting. I'm not going to talk through it now, but I can do sometime if you like. I think it is a very clever way of sewing in pockets. It's good. It's a good way of getting all the edges overlocked and not excessively overlocked. Anyway, cracked on with that, but because I'd already sewn the Camille jumpsuit like this, I didn't read the instructions properly. I did it wrong. So my pockets ended up having too much, I can't even explain what way I did it wrong, but it just means that now they don't sit as flat and as flush to my body as they should do. But at this stage, I don't care. I've got pockets. They're not that noticeable. Someone who doesn't sew wouldn't even notice. And someone who does sew probably wouldn't notice either, you know? You have to be right up staring at my pocket to notice. It is actually totally fine. I know it's wrong. That's about it. But anyway, they're done. Ah! Oh my God, 8 weeks and I finally made a pair of culottes. Ah! Oh, it was so stressful. And I know maybe just talking over this now, it wasn't. Oh, I know something else I did wrong. I am, again, totally distracted. When I was overlocking a piece of my culottes, or you know, my fabric, I sewed on my overlocker or serger, I sewed over a pin. Guys, I have never, ever, ever done that. One of the worst things you could possibly do. Okay, sewing over a pin on your sewing machine is bad enough because you could break the needle, but you just replace the needle and it's not that serious. It's a bit dangerous. It might stab you in the eye. That's serious. But on the overlocker, it could have been game over. It could have broken my blade, could have broken the needles, it could have pinged up and spiked me in the eye. Oh, I was terrified when it happened. And I was ridiculously relieved when I discovered that everything was okay. I very, very carefully found the half of pin that was still there, pulled it out, and very, very cautiously started sewing, overlocking again. And it was fine. I don't know how I caught that break. I was very lucky. I thought that was it. That was me done. How am I going to get my overlocker fixed during lockdown? I'm not. So very relieved. But it just shows you that if your mind is not fully on what you're doing when you're sewing, you're going to make mistakes. Well, that's what it's like for me anyway. Anyway, as I said, all done. And here endeth the Saga of the leopard print culottes. Anyway, I'm delighted with what they look like. I have actually loads of different things in my wardrobe that I can mix and match with them, so they're just going to get worn so much. I do have a couple of wee things that I will tweak. I love this pattern. If you haven't made this pattern, it's a good one. Especially View D that I made with the pleats. It is very easy to make, even when you make mistakes. And it doesn't really take too much fabric either, which is a bonus too. I will, what size did I make in this? Just because I know it helps people. It definitely helps me when I'm deciding on making a pattern. So in this pattern I made a size 18, and as I say, it fits me nicely. Kind of went by the bust doesn't matter, so the bust was way too big for me. I'm not a 40 in a bust. The hip waist for that is 32, which is sort of what I am, and then the hip is 42, which again is about what I am as well at the moment. But I think the waist is too wide for me, so the next one I'm going to take it in to maybe down to the 16. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so they are absolutely fine. My belly button is literally there where the waistband is lying, but that's not my natural waist, so it's sitting below my natural waist and absolutely fine. I like it. It's really comfortable. It's not too tight for me to wear or anything like that. But I think the next one I will make it so that it sits just up there on my natural waist, so it does sort of bring the eye up to this, you know, narrower section of my body, which is generally more flattering. But if you're wearing something like this, it doesn't matter. But if I were to wear something tucked in, you know, it would accentuate that narrower part of my body, and I think that is what it is, where these trousers are supposed to sit. Yeah, on you. So just it's an easy thing to do. I think probably making the size 16 or the size 14 waistband, and then just maybe bringing the side seams in a little bit, making the darts at the front and the back a little bit wide, bigger as well. It'll bring that in, I'll be totally fine. So, but as I say, I'm more than happy, and you know, I've been through so much with these now that I am not redoing them and making the waistband smaller now. No, I'm done with them. I am done, and I am moving on. So that's the end of my, as I say, my leopard print Culotte Saga. It's been nice to get back on the vlog actually and chat to you all again. I have been missing it, and I've been feeling like I've been wanting to get back onto the vlog. I did film something and it was disastrous, so I just left it. And as I say, because I've been not really sewing anything, I haven't had an awful lot to talk about. I don't even have April favourites for you because I haven't been buying anything really, and you know, I haven't been using sewing tools to even say this thing that I've had for years is a favourite. So didn't even bother making one of those videos, but you know, hopefully I'll pick that up again soon. I feel like I'm getting back into the thing, into this, and I've been working away on my website as well the last week or so. Got lots of big plans, changing things up a bit, and it's very exciting and I'm really enjoying that, and it's sort of giving me a little bit more of a boost. It was lovely just to put some makeup on for this video because I haven't been wearing makeup for weeks. And I looked at myself in the mirror when I got all my makeup on. I thought, who are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. It's nice to give your face a break as well though, isn't it? Anyway, if you enjoyed my rambly, chatty vlog, this definitely was a chatty one, and I know it won't be everyone's cup of tea. That's okay. It's for the ones that like a chatty catch up. So if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. Thank you so much. And again, subscribe if you are new here and you like just general sewing catch-ups and sewing plans and makes and tutorials. I have a few tutorials in the works in my brain. I just have to actually make them happen soon. Some good ones. I'm excited to do them. If you have any requests for videos, then please do drop a message in the comments. I love hearing any suggestions of vlogs and videos that you'd like me to make. I'll try my best to make them happen. Next week I am going to be back because I am going to do a whole pile of filming right now, and I'm going to be back with a bit of a haul. I said I haven't bought anything recently, but last week I caved and I've bought a pile of fabric, and I've got big plans for them, so I'm going to share that all with you in the next vlog. So until then, take care guys. Bye.